Atem nitzavim hayom kulchem. You stand today, all of you. This is the parsha we read every year before Rosh Hashanah. Why do we read these words before Rosh Hashanah? The Zohar HaKadosh makes a stunning revelation. Whenever the Torah says, Vayehi hayom, and it was the day has a specific reference. For example, in Melachim, the pasuk says, Vayehi hayom, vayavar Elisha el Shunem. Elisha came to the Isha Hashunamis. What was that day? Vayehi hayom, says the Zohar HaKadosh. It refers to the Yom Tov of Rosh Hashanah. Or in Sefer Iyov, Vayehi hayom, vayavayu b'nei Elohim. It was the day, and the angels came. Lehisyatsev al Hashem. That refers, says Rashi, to the day of Rosh Hashanah. Thus, the word hayom is referring to Rosh Hashanah throughout Tanakh. We have many references to Rosh Hashanah with the word hayom. Perhaps most notably, hayom harasoilam, or in Tehillim, lemishpatecha amdu hayom ki hakol avadecha. In your judgment, they stand today, for everyone is your servant. Amazingly, Rabbi Yosef Chaim Sonnenfeld says, the gematria, the numerical value of that entire pasuk, lemishpatecha amdu hayom ki hakol avadecha, the numerical value of that whole pasuk is Rosh Hashanah. And therefore, when it says, Atem nitzavim hayom, you are standing hayom, hayom refers to Rosh Hashanah. And therefore, it is most appropriate that we read every year the words, Atem nitzavim hayom, the Shabbos before Rosh Hashanah. But we have to understand, let's investigate, why is Rosh Hashanah referred to with this 4-letter word, hayom, today? Hayom literally means today. Every day could be called today, the day. Why is Rosh Hashanah specifically referred to as hayom? In Pirkei Avos, Parak Beis, Mishnah Yud, the Mishnah tells us, V'shuv yoim echad lefnei misasach. Repent one day before you die. You know, that's good to know. Maybe we should put a notation on our calendar. On the day before we die, we should remember to do tshuva. But of course, nobody knows when they're going to die. So the Gemara in Shabbos Kuf Nun Gimel brings that the students of Rabbi Lezer asked him, nobody knows when they're going to die. And Rabbi Lezer responded, exactly. Therefore, do tshuva today, because you might die tomorrow. From here, we learn a very important principle. Tshuva is not something that is reserved for Rosh Hashanah, for Yom Kippur, for Yomim Noraim. Tshuva is something we live with, something we do every single day. Tamar Devara writes that every day of our life we need to infuse with what he refers to as bina. Bina is a reference to tshuva. Every day of our life should be connected to the midah of tshuva. Mishnah Berurah tells us in Siman Reish Lamed Tes, every night before we go to sleep, we should try to do tshuva. The Reishis Chachma writes, before each meal, a meal is like eating a karban, we should try to do tshuva. Reb Chaim Volozhiner writes, each time before we learn, we don't want to learn in a state of having sin, we should try to do tshuva. That means tshuva is something we not only do every day, we do many times a day. Before we go to sleep, before we eat, before we learn Torah. Tshuva is something that accompanies us throughout our lifetime, many, many times. In fact, the Ramak, Rav Moshe Cordovero brings, there are 4 main times to do tshuva. Each day, right before Shkia, right before the day is about to leave, we want to make sure that day is clean before it leaves. Do tshuva before the day leaves. Before the week is over, before Shabbos, be maharher b'tshuva. Have a thought of tshuva before the week is over and it leaves. Do tshuva Erev Shabbos. Erev Rosh Chodesh is referred to as Yom Kippur Katan. Before the month leaves, says the Ramak in the Pardes Rimonim, do tshuva before the month is over. And finally, before the year is over, Erev Rosh Hashanah, we should do tshuva before the year takes leave of us. Tshuva is something we do daily. Before we eat, before we sleep, before the day is over, before the week is over, before the year is over. Tshuva accompanies us every single day of our life. And therefore, we can suggest Rosh Hashanah is called today because the principle of Rosh Hashanah, the obligation of Rosh Hashanah, the responsibility of Rosh Hashanah rests upon us hayom, every single day. And thus the Maharsha teaches us that this may be the reason why the Gemara in Eruvin has a thought that we should not make a Shechiyanu on Rosh Hashanah, because the principle of Rosh Hashanah applies every day of our life. Every day of our life, we connect to Chuva. Chuva accompanies us every single day, and therefore Rosh Hashanah is called Hayom, today. Wishing everyone a Ksiva Chazima Tova.